Good afternoon, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. Are you searching for a property up in the Maine woods where you can get away from all the crowds? Maybe some land with some nice trees on it that hasn't had any recent timber harvesting, on a road that very few people know about, so you got ultimate privacy. Well, if you are, stick around with me today. We're going to take a look at this 25.2 acres in the town of Winn, with all of the promises I just made: trees, privacy, peace and quiet. Come on up and take a look at it with me today. If you're wondering where we're at, folks, we're at Branch Road in the town of Winn, which is a private gravel road out in the woods. We're about 18.5 miles from the town of Lincoln. Lincoln would be your nearest town for major services such as a hospital, grocery stores, building supplies, hardware, and you name it. About everything you could need, you can find in Lincoln. We're 66 miles from the city of Bangor. That's northern Maine's largest city. It has an international airport there. You got concert venues, civic centers, performing arts, sporting events, a little bit of everything for culture there in the city of Bangor. We're about 195 miles from the city of Portland, which is Maine's largest city. The city of St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, for all our friends that watch us from Canada who like to come over here, recreate, and buy real estate. We're 145 miles from St. John, and less than that to the city of Fredericton, the capital of New Brunswick, Canada. We're about a 6-hour ride to Montreal. And the city of Boston is 300 miles from here, and that's about a 4-hour and 35-minute ride. So we're located right here where Branch Road meets this unnamed road that's a private right-of-way through along the edge of my property that we're selling here. So as I'm standing here, that road is the boundary on this side of the land. This road going here, Branch Road, is the boundary on this end, which is the southern end of the lot. There are two lines, boundary lines, on the north and on the east that aren't roads. So this is pretty easily identified out here. We're going to walk up the unnamed road here. We got about 1,500 feet of frontage on the two. But while we walk, we'll talk about the area. All right, as we walk along the property here, you'll notice the land off to my right. Some really nice hardwood trees in here. This lot is mostly hardwood. We'll talk about the trees a little later. But let's talk about this area and what else is here besides this property and all this undeveloped forest land that surrounds it. We're 2.3 miles from the Dwinell Pond Wildlife Management Area. That's a 2,450 acre site with about 800 acres in wetlands. And it's the pond frontage itself is actually part of the Mattakeunk stream that runs through it. The stream is good trout fishing early in the spring. Warm water fish do kind of take over in there later on when the water temperatures rise. Great place to see ducks. There's all kinds of wildlife there. The Dwinell Pond flowage is also of the 11 places that the Clayton's copper butterfly are found here in Maine. That's an endangered species here in Maine. That is the best population of them to be found in the state. There are other rare plants and animals in there, birds and some aquatic plants. Great place for recreating. There's hunting allowed in sections of it. There's trails out there for ATV and snowmobile. 49 miles to our northwest of here is Baxter State Park. And most people that know Maine are familiar with Baxter. Baxter's Maine's largest park, one of the most beautiful scenic areas in the northeastern United States, home of Mount Katahdin, Maine's tallest mountain at just shy of a mile high, plus a whole bunch of other mountain peaks there, hiking trails, hundreds of miles of those, many trout ponds, and that's an easy day trip here, 49 miles northwest of the property. Mattawamkeag River is nearby. That's one of Maine's wilderness rivers, one of the cleanest in the state. Very few impoundments or dams on that river, almost none, so it's a free-flowing river. Some beautiful wild brook trout in there. It also gets a run of Atlantic salmon that come up the Penobscot River and enter the Mattawamkeag from there. Speaking of the Penobscot River, just a little southwest of us here in the town of Winn on Route 2 is the public boat landing. So if you want to do some paddling or some power boating on one of Maine's largest rivers, that's a beautiful place for smallmouth bass fishing, seeing wild bald eagles flying around, gray heron, all kinds of wading birds. Beautiful place. Check that out while you're here. And last but not least, this road system can be ATV'd by the owners in here because they have a right of way over it. And this road system connects down to the town line road between Lee, Winn, or Winn and Springfield actually. And that road is an ATV trail. And the Dwinell Pond Club is 2.3 miles to our south. And from there you can jump on both snowmobile trails that are groomed to maintain as well as the ATV trail system in the summertime. Okay, if you're looking on the map, we're up here in the northwest corner, pretty near to that corner, and we're going to go into the woods here just a little south of the boundary line, and I'm going to walk you through some of the beautiful hardwood on this property. And as we do that, we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, as we're walking through here, you can look around, and what you're going to see is hardwood, and this is exclusively hardwood in this northwest corner. The property is in the tree growth current use tax program. The forester's report, which was updated last year, 2024, shows 1 acre of softwood on this property, approximately 3 acres of what's considered mixed wood, hardwood and softwood being roughly 50-50, and then 20 acres of nothing but hardwood, plus 1 acre out at an old campsite. There's an old cabin on this property that's fallen down and has no value. But that acre out there, you could build a new cabin on that acre without paying any penalty. And as we're walking through here, you're going to notice we got yellow birches, we got red maple, we got American beech, we've got white birches in here as well. A little bit of everything. Got some cherry growing here. But it's been harvested probably 35, yeah, I'm guessing 30 to 40 years ago would be my guess from the looks of the old stumps in here. And now we've got very little understory. And actually, the forester a year ago cruised this and came out with about just under 280 cords of merchantable timber that could be harvested now if you chose to. My client has chose to let it grow. But here's a nice maple as an example that's about 13, 14 inches in diameter. And there's a lot of those kicking around in here. Some nice boltwood that's yellow birches, all kinds of beech for firewood. If you're into cutting your own firewood, this is a great lot for that. But like I said, I know a lot of you are watching our channel and always don't like to see timber harvest. Well, here's a lot that hasn't been cut in many, many years, and you can just pan around here and you can see 50 to 60, 70 yards in every direction because there's not a lot of thick brush. If you're going to keep this property, maybe you want to do a timber harvest in here. The way the elevations run here, I think we're between 260 and 340 feet above sea level, and it's pitching away to the northeast, and there's a pretty significant drop that direction. If you were to clear cut the height of land up here near the road, 5, 6, 7 acres maybe, you'd probably get a really nice view of the surrounding hills in this area. All right, as we continue on and I talk about how nice the trees are growing in here, part of the reason is the NRCS web soil survey shows this as being mostly placed-ed loam. It's rocky, in some places it's steep, so it's not great farmland. Though if you were to take like a plateau here that's nice and flat, cut these trees out of it and pull the stumps, move some rocks, you'd be able to plant this into crops. And I think if you're a hunter, food plots would do excellent in here. And you wouldn't have to open up a big hole in the canopy. You could maybe put a few little plots around the edges. I haven't seen many landowners in this area doing that. And I can tell you from my own experience, if you plant a food plot in the middle of the woods, you will bring game in. I can guarantee it. It has every property owner I've worked with where we've helped them do that, or they've done it themselves, myself included. We've taken areas where we weren't seeing many white-tailed deer or turkeys or black bear or moose, and then all of a sudden we put in several acres of high-quality feed for them, and it's a magnet. They keep coming. So you can take a property as small as this 25 acres, and if you properly manage it, You could make a nice hunting lot out of it for this property's priced at $39,995. It's less than a new pickup truck. So, and you probably got thousands of dollars of timber standing here that you can harvest over the years, heat your house, your cabin, sell some off to help pay your taxes. I don't know what else I can tell you. I really like this piece of land because it is so easy to walk through it. There's very little brush in your way. You can see a good distance. You will see some surface rocks, like I said, and that's part of the reason why it's not going to be all ideal farmland. But you can definitely see little pockets of the woods here where there aren't many surface rocks, and I think you'll dig them up when you till it, but it'll be good land to do a lot of different things with. All right, we're over here by the cabin, and we're going to film this cabin because I don't want to see in the comments, how come you didn't show the cabin? Well, here's why. Whoever built it had a very limited knowledge as far as building construction techniques are concerned. I think that's a very nice way of putting that. Right now, I just pull the metal roofing off it, pull off the plastic, and wait till a good time, get a burn permit from the local fire department, and burn this out. This is the acre right around here, and there's actually some beautiful trails leading from this spot back into the woods that were obviously cleaned out at one time. So it's an easy walk through the property from this site. Here's your acre out, clean this up. It's gonna take you a couple of days. So let's go back out to the truck and I'll wrap this up with all the other details. Hey folks, thanks again for taking the tour of this 25.2 plus or minus acre lot here in the town of Winn with me today. And don't forget, while you're here, don't miss an opportunity to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell, put on all notifications. You won't miss the next video that comes up. And I know a lot of you who watch me all the time are saying, hey Phil, how come you're driving a Dodge Ram? Well, Toyota had a recall on the Tundra, and this is the vehicle they let me drive for the 4 days it's going to take them to put the new motor in, which is a pretty cool thing. Anybody driving a Ram truck now with the new inline 6 twin turbo? I'm impressed. This may be my new pickup truck. Anyhow, the property here is priced at $39,995, like I told you earlier. We got about 1,500 feet along the road. We're deep in the woods. This property's in tree growth, all but 1 acre. Taxes are cheap. They're right over here. Check that out. We got good soils. We got some nice timber on the property. We got ATV and snowmobile trails accessible from here. All the conservation land just to the south. I don't know what more you could want for $39.95. If you find a better piece of land with everything that's just got going for it for less money, you better buy it before I find it. And if you want to come see this one, give me a call at 207-290-0372. Looking forward to your call.